Hey everyone, we'll be starting momentarily. I'm just getting everything set up and then we'll be good to go. Alright, that's all saved. Close that. This is all ready. That seems to be fine. Everything seems to be good. So, hello. Welcome, everyone, to another stream of Apollo Justice Trilogy. Dual Destinies. I forgot the name of the game for a second there. But yeah, welcome. We are going to continue where we were last time. After we had investigated Ninetales Vale some more, got some more information, and we are about to start the next trial day, where Blackwell will probably gaslight the entire courtroom again. Hey, Rafatron, hey, Sean, welcome. Hey, no, my streams are never scuffed. What are you talking about? In and out through the street. That's fine, that's fine. You'll still be here. We'll be still going. But yeah, we're going to be thinking with that, and we're going to be seeing if we can beat the prosecutor today, and hopefully actually make him lose, and keep calling us Dono. But yeah, without further ado, let us begin. I want to get straight into this because you know, I like it. The last VOD? What are you talking about? Every day is a new day. There was no previous stream. These are not the videos you're looking for. Is it showing up on the thing? There you are. That's what you want to think, but what if I made you think that you thought that, but really it does, and it does affect your mind, huh? Mind games. I almost poked myself in the eye when I was doing it. I was like tapping my forehead, be like, I'm smart. I almost poked myself in the eye, so you know. Yes, that's what picked up. We're good. Let's go. Bribes. Bribes work. April 19th, 9:30 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Again. Oh, going straight in. Okay. Court is now session. All rise. Court is back in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Apollo Justice Defense Leader is ready, Your Honor. Theatre Sykes Assistant Defender is ready too, Your Honor. Je suis prêt. That's how you said it. As chipper as ever, I see, and in French no less. And the prosecution. He's chained up again. Very well, then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackwell. Huh. Now, your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it. Looks like the judge really bringing it today. He probably realized how Blackwell played him. It was one mean game of Simon Says. Yeah, His Honor has to fight to defend his honor today. His Honor has to defend his honor. Your boldness. It's plain to see you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement. I have? I don't know if I'd say that. Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court. One thing you could not possess. Crown jewels of the court? Now at long last, they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make a special exception, just this once. Here we go again. Yep, more of Blackwell's mind games. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. Ahem. In yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that victim Alderman Rex Cuby was the amazing Ninetails. We also learned that the amazing Ninetails was a key figure in the yokai craze and the anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex Cuby's secret identity, Mayor Damien Tenmer murdered him. Allegedly. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light. And the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and the victim. The defense had proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room. Ergo, we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Did I say something wrong? That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time. Oh, one more thing to boast about to my grandchild. Well, this is not an unexpected turn of events. Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation? Feathers in the tracks? Weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed? It was but an act to protect his daughter. Oh, yes, of course. I had suspected as much. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor award-winning performance? His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the mayor's maid, Jinxie Tenma.
Objection!
Prosecution is engaged in mere conjecture. Congratulations! How's the marriage going? Would you care for some witness testimony then? Well, I am ready to provide that little scamp is the one behind the Tenmataro farce. Witness testimony? I bet he means Filch and that creep LaBelle. Very well then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness, who hasn't been declared yet? Oh, you again. Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday, so see that it does not happen again today. Been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid, bit of a trademark of mine. Indeed, you managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip. Like those amateurs could never nab me. Yipes. Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you from in place. Yipes, no please. I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running. Your statement now. Yes, sir. Mr. Blackhead, sir. May be a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackwell. Yeah, Blackwell doesn't strike me as a give-up-easy type. Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. Witness testimony. Imagine if they could actually see these words that just come out in front of us. Like, holy crap, what the hell's that? Why is it backwards? It's just backwards for you. Yokai is Jinxie. Tematara's really that little maid gal. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tematara I saw was just a little thing about her size. But the little runt had a big old staff. I seen it when she came running to the foyer. Betcha she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. I don't know why. I should just say, hey, I'm walking here in order to make it apparent that he's supposed to be like a Brooklyn or New York guy. Brooklyn is in New York, but you get the point. She was going to use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation. I just know it. So, Temataro was short in stature. And that's because it was Miss Jinxie Tenma all along. You betcha. Besides, all the rest in the manor were way taller than her. Feigning height is but an easy thing. But a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short. What if the Tematara impersonator was walking on their knees? Weren't no knee walking, I seen it myself. Then perhaps the yokai really was Miss Tenma after all. Show us the proof. All monsters are naught but tricks, either of the mind or the cheap parlor variety. So you're saying she created an illusion like one of those magical eye things? Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about ghosts he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. Prosecutor Blackwell just gave up the ghost, literally. Shut up, Judge. I understand what we just said, and the MC replied because he read the subtitles. Yeah. Janitor's deathly complexion and all-white attire are no doubt partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. That actually sounds like a real ghost to me. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, you and Mr. LaBelle mentioned something about a practice yesterday. Do you deny this so-called lesson was about what you were supposed to say in court? No, you got it wrong. Then could you tell the court exactly what sort of lesson it was? Oh, it was, what was it again? Yipes, now I remember. Math, you know, numbers and stuff. He's completely under Blackwell's control, too. Anyway, that Tematara was the little maid gal. What's the difference?
Hold it!
I take it you got a good look at how tall the Tematara impersonator was. You betcha. I got a habit of sizing people up. I can even give you a primer on how to pull it off. All under the table, Natch. Natch? What? I got a knack for figuring out where people's pockets are and how much money they have. I size them real good before I relieve them of their valuables. You just admitted to being a pickpocket right here in court. Does the witness hold that this Temataro entered the foyer Darn right I do. Oh, whoops.
Hold it!
Well, you're not going to brush it all off by claiming the perk was short. Must have hit a raw nerve because you ate all that tall yourself. Look who's talking, Mr. I've got to stand on a box just to testify. I like the pullback. Anyway, Mr. Filch, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say that Temataro you saw had a staff? Cross my heart and hope to die. I know it because it's my jingle and my jangle. And where do you suppose that staff came from? The staff, you say? Well, Well, that can't be true because the door was locked.
Objection!
But apparently I'm wrong. My statement clearly contradicts this evidence. I object to you on a personal grounds. The sole contradiction lies in what your faulty logic dreamt up just now. Objection overruled. The defense will think twice before making such erroneous statements. Seems that statement didn't particularly conflict with the evidence. I jumped the gun, I think.
Hold it!
I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Tenma entered the Forbidden Chamber to get one. Well, I ain't never seen a stuff like that in the manor. It had to be in the Forbidden Chamber. Oh, really? That stench of LaBelle is thick in the air today. Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident. Then she took the staff and tried to cover up her actions by pretending to be Temataro. I guess that's what Filch is trying to say? Could Jinxie have entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to? There is one thing I was wondering about. Why did the yokai have a staff in the first place? Well, I've got my hunches about that.
Hold it!
Wallop you? And why would the so-called yokai want to do that? The little maid girl never did like me. She always hightails it when I come round and she sticks these weird papers on my noggin. She probably thinks of him as the dreaded Tanuki monster of QB Manor or something. We need to prove that Jinxie isn't Temataro. But I have no idea how we're going to do that. We got to do is prove that it was impossible for Jinxie to turn into Temataro. And that might be easier than you think. Really? Now's our chance. Our chance to expose the real Temataro for all to see. Okay, so it might be the key.
Objection!
Yeah, okay, so it was either the door or it was the key. It would seem that Temataro was in fact not this innocent little girl. Huh? How'd you figure that? You claimed that Temataro you saw had one of those states from the Forbidden Chamber. But it would have been impossible for Miss Temma to get a hold of one. Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber. What's this? This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. So you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. I just noticed that it's kind of textured towards the bottom. Oh. In short, Tenmataro has been holding that staff, or seen holding that staff. Could not have been Jinxie Tenma. Ugh. Ah! What? But then who does the defense believe was impersonating Temataro? A Temataro impersonator is none other than the Mayor Tenma's aide. Such accusations beg evidence. You didn't even let me say anything yet. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove he was the yokai we seek? Yes, in fact, I can. Very well. Let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of Temataro impersonator.
Take that!
We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber. And we know that whoever was Temataro took one of the staves out there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for. But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting. Do you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well. I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results. No need for that, your boldness. We have the prints of everyone at the matter that day. You called Prosecutor Blackwell! Could anyone be more wit? Fulbright, analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes. Your wish is my command! Very well then. I guess we'll just wait right here. Bright is like a dog now. It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete. What do the results show? What in the world? They're Florent LaBelle's prints, aren't they? This is absurd. Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not gonna like this, am I? Golden Retriever, maybe? Don't tell me they're Temataro's prints. No! He doesn't have fingerprints. He doesn't have fingers! Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to Apollo Justice. Phineas Filch.
Objection!
Wait, what? What? Then Mr. LaBelle was wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little tanuki. Explain yourself now. Sure, them prints are mine. I mean, I did peel for that hand cream for Mr. LaBelle after all. So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber? So what if I did? You got a problem with it? Yipes! You fool of a tanuki. A whippet? Is that an actual dog? Order! Order! Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean? No! Because this is not what I expected. I am prepared for this. Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Wait a second. Does this mean that Temataro holding that staff was... Phineas Filch? Yikes. Another cat's out of the bag. Mr. Filch is Temataro? I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer? The witness will explain himself this instant. Begging your pardon, Your Honourship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be the Temataro in the village exorcism ritual. Oh, you mean the event at the Nine Tails Festival? So that was you inside the Temataro costume? Yep. And after the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestlers being complete jobbers. So you didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match. That's when I looked at the Temataro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And because of them superstitions, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word. In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible. Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place? Because of the treasure there. Thought that was my big chest stick on in an abbey. Treasure? Only that it's the greatest get rich chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it, said there'd be an amazing treasure in there. He went in there not knowing his grandfather had already pilfered it. Guess that's one tale that didn't get passed down the grandpappy to grandson. Wait, how did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly gotten in. I cut through the air vent in the foyer. The vent's left of the Alderman's picture. It went on in and made a nice little hole. Used that to get into the air duct that into the Forbidden Chamber I did. You what? But how's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how he got the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent? So, Temotaro was nothing more than a cat burglar, or rather a tanuki burglar. We're back to being without anyone to charge for the Alderman's murder. I mean, he was still there, we can still charge him. It looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker. Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after you fleeing to the foyer? I got out of that costume right quick. Would have just called trouble at that point. And where is that costume now? Heck if I know. And if it ain't my fault if it never find it. The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor. What if it was tossed outside the manor? No way! But maybe, just maybe. Mr. Justin will stop speaking him to himself. The defense seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice. Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here?
Take that!
Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor. You think I tossed it out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny. So why would I go do something like that? I can think of a few reasons. Any bright ideas, Apollo? Well, assuming the costume really was tossed outside from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might just have to think to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch, I have just the evidence for you. You do? This evidence proves you got rid of your Temotaro costume through the window.
Take that!
That's Temotaro flying through the sky? And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? It's quite simple. That's not Temotaro in the photo. It's the costume Mr. Filch threw outside, because it has flying capabilities. And that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are you? There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. Unless this thing is aerodynamic and has the ability to glide, there is no way it would fly that far. In other words, the photo of Temotaro really was a flight of fancy. What? Yikes! Oh my, so there really was never a yokai. I can't keep any of the cats bagged. Can I file a claim for the lost costume? This more than proves the defense position. Dinksy Timber had nothing to do with stating the yokai sighting. Care to raise here any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? None whatsoever. I'll deal with that tricksy Tanuki after I dealt with the case. We did it. Good going. All you gotta do is make LaFront Bell take the stand.
Objection!
Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not? Huh? Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber? Probably the same way he got in, through the chamber's air vent. But then how did the other person see him? And what are the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? They would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent. He's right there, just ask him.
Objection!
But the forbidden chamber doesn't open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense. Right? Huh. Someone on the outside opened the door for you. Isn't that right? Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. That door suddenly sprung right open.
Hold it!
Sprung right open? Who was on the other side? Jinxie Tenma. Didn't get a look on the count of the sudden glare. Like how the reflection from my head blinds fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark. That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then that little maid gal spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall. That means the forbidden chamber wasn't open until after the crime scene was discovered. But wait, we still don't know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox chamber.
Objection!
Well, you little Tanuki. When the forbidden chamber opened, did you see the accused passed out of there? Nope. Only one there was the alderman, and he was dead as a doornail. Huh. If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to? Uh-oh. I like where this is going. Ah, don't tell me. Plainly, the only one who could have opened the forbidden chamber was the accused Damien Tenma by somehow using the key that's inside his body. Unless you're saying that, oh, he swallowed the key after he opened the door. Wait a second, you son of a bitch! There had to be someone else beside Mayor Tenma there. Really? And who might that be? Oh, well, that would be... Seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence. I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details. A banana never forgets. Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact. Sorry. Guess I put my foot in my mouth again. No, Athena, we're definitely onto something here. We are? Think about it. If Filch was stuck inside the forbidden chamber, one of the alibis we heard would no longer hold any water. The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the forbidden chamber. And by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up. Not that insufferable. Very well, the court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up? Trucy's. Well, it's either going to be LaBelle's or it's going to be Tenma's. Because again, he's the only one that had the key. So there would have been no way to open it unless he had the key still. I'm going to go with the first one first. Welcome back, Sean.
Take that!
Why, that's the defendant's aide, Florent LaBelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime? True, but in his alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all know, Mr. Filch was not there with Mr. LaBelle at that time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared. Ugh. Florent LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch? I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here either. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me he'd button in his lips about me breaking into the forbidden chamber. In return, he said we'd vouch for each other's alibi. Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know. Ah, shucks. Mercy, your honorship, mercy. No, put him in prison. Ah! I also assert the person who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch was none other than Florent LaBelle. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be complete fabrication. I see. We will take a 20-minute recess for no reason, after which we will see what Mr. LaBelle has to say for himself. Yes! We're finally going to drag that slippery snake into the stand. In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. LaBelle about these new allegations. Objection. Hold it. Throws sword at him. April 19th, 10:25 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 4. Or 3, that works too. We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Mr. LaBelle into court. Yeah. Hey, why the long face? I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell's bound to mount a counterattack. You really are a worrywart, aren't you? He'll be fine. That mystery figure opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch. Had to have been Florent LaBelle. I know, but that's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it, though. At any rate, the big showdowns with Mr. LaBelle is up next. Let's go, Apollo. I accidentally clicked when I hadn't finished reading. 11 a.m. Court is back in session. Our next witness is... Yes, I'm acting on the behalf of the very important matter. It seems the witness is predisposed at the moment. He shouldn't be because he's in court. Surely you jest. I will hold you to the promise. Remember that. Oh, my deepest apologies. This is Florent LaBelle, personal aide to Mayor Temba, or should I say, the accused. Ouch. The poor mayor hasn't suffered enough. Well, that business do you have with me? I'm a very busy man, so let's make this as brief as possible. Your boldness. Ah, right. Mr. LaFilch's testimony has revealed a hole in your alibi. And for this reason, you are suspected of having some sort of connection with the case at hand. And to think I'd associate with this entirely lurid affair. Well, I'm not, so may I go now? I have very important matters to attend to.
Objection!
How good is the signal on his phone? It's probably bad, because they're in his shoulders next to his thick head. I don't think so, Mr. LaBelle. Do you realize what a serious crime you've committed? Witness, you are being accused of perjury. This is your chance to clear the air. Fine. This truth, I faked my alibi for a very good reason. The mayor was obviously the killer, so I created a fake alibi to confuse the matter. That's still illegal! You see, as his personal aide, I felt I had to protect him. Sorry! You think this is funny? Without your alibi, you're a suspect too. What were you really doing at the time of the crime? Peasant, how dare you accuse me, one of the most beautiful people, of being... Stop stalling and tell the court what you were really doing that kind of crime, you soppish fop.
Silence!
Enough jabbering. Swords have been drawn. The time for talk is past. Swords? What swords? The swords of truth and justice. This is the duel to the death. The fate of the accused rests in our hands. Begone, ye cowardly of heart. The battlefield hath no place for ye. Again? Oh my. Spare me, please. I think you need to make those shackles out of, like, titanium. So much for sturdiest shackles. Those chains hid in my vow that heads would roll this day. This guy's giving you... This gives keeping you... I keep nearly saying the exact wrong thing that could get me back. This gives keeping your head on in court a whole new meaning. Will the witness please deliver the accused death knell? You know of what I speak. Most certainly. His goose is already cooked. Time to stick a fork in it. Shut the hell up, Joker. What's with your hair? You look stupid. Whatever he has to say can't be good. As I told Prosecutor Blackwell during the recess, I rushed right over to the Fox chamber when I heard little Jinxie scream. What? Then, drumroll please, I saw Mantema opening the forbidden chamber doors. But there you have it. The mystery man who opened the chamber door was witnessed by one Phineas Filch. It was the accused. There never was any third party. Oh, and that's not all. I heard something quite startling there at the scene of the crime. Startling sounds bad. The mayor has barely conscious muttered this. Forgive me, Jinxie, I killed the alderman. That's right, the mayor actually confessed to the murder right then and there. He confessed? The only way a confession can be taken is if it's given in person when they confess to it. They can't just say, oh, he confessed then and there. That's hearsay. Order in the court. This is quite the conclusive testimony if it stands. Guys, I've already forgotten what it was. At this point, I've forgotten. Just so, and quite astonishing, I might add. I only learned of this fact during the recess. I just love surprises, don't you? That's why I saved the best for last. Consider it a gift from me to you. Let me hit the microphone. Sorry about that. No way. I don't believe Mr. LaBelle heard the mayor's confess. But is this really true? Did Mayor Temmer really confess? It is indeed. During that last recess, I conferred with the mayor's daughter. It would seem Mayor Temmer actually did confess. But she specifically told us that she didn't say anything about that to him. That testimony is quite favorable to the prosecutions. This is LaBelle. Yes, I called earlier about the party reservations. That's right, I'll be calling my little shindig Mayor Temmer's Conviction Gala. A splendid time to guaranteed for all the mayor in his defense. Well, as it seems our witness is a very busy man, let's get right to his testimony. Mr. LaBelle, please tell us what you saw when you came upon the scene of the crime. Non-permissible, I guess. What LaBelle saw. I was in the hallway hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession. Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me. Immediately after that, the mayor came, stood up, and opened the forbidden chamber. As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison. In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right, to the one with the phone at the end. But that's not where... Jinxie went there. I must say, this is a shocking revelation. Quite unexpected. To think the defendant actually confessed then and there to his crime. Perhaps the guilt was too much to bear, so he confided in his daughter. Did you realize you should not have withheld such crucial testimony from the court? Once again, sorry. I just feared. I It's just I feared being accused, as I've mentioned, upon coming most unpleasant, unsarcastic, black and blue. It's hard to say words and in this voice. Why did the mayor's confession have to be brought up by this guy? You better do something before the judge declares the mayor guilty. As a death row inmate once told me in years gone by, there is a time to fight and a time to yield. A time to live and a time to die. He's laying it on real thick now. In 7 different languages. Yeah. The defense must now cross-examine the witness. Imagine if he tried to speak French and then Athena just comes in and speaks like full perfect French to him. And he's like, oui. I'm just imagining that interaction. That would be great. Can we have something like that?
Hold it!
You claim the mayor confessed to his daughter. Are you sure about that? Peasant, you would dare ask such a question if you truly understood. True beauty is never wrong. Right. It's not? No, beauty is carved deep into the DNA. That means I'm programmed to always be right, even when I'm wrong. I'm not following. These exquisite ears like flowers of bloom. These eyes that shine like pearls. This hair like the finest silk. Nothing can corrupt the truth they hold. Right. The witness will hurry up and explain this truth of his. Specifically, what did Jinxie Temba do upon hearing the confession?
Hold it!
How did Miss Temba appear to you? Oh, the poor little thing seemed positively heartbroken, all teary-eyed and whatnot. I couldn't help but shed a few tears myself after seeing her like that. He actually sympathized with Jinxie? Seems like an overly human emotion for him. Yeah, because he's the only real monster we've seen so far, in looks and in character. Oh, Apollo! Oh! Burn him! The next thing I did was check my face in the mirror, because that's more important. Check your face? Why? To behold beauty that is my sadness, why else? Apollo, I'm starting to lose all faith in humanity. Why? It's just one guy. Lose it against him. I know the feeling, but hang in there. At least keep faith in our client. Let's keep moving, shall we? So what happened next?
Hold it!
He opened the forbidden chamber? But why would he do that? Who knows? Maybe he wanted to free the demon Tembataro?
Objection!
The courtroom is no place for fairy tales. Remember, you are under oath. That's never stopped anyone before, Apollo. Don't bring that up. That's just bullshit. That never works. For anyone. Hello, LaBelle speaking. Yes, I will certainly explore the matter. Toodles! Now, where were we again? You were going to tell us the real reason why the mayor opened the forbidden chamber. Oh, yes, of course. Hello, this is LaBelle. Good one, sir. You're an absolute riot. Okay, bye. There was no point to that call. You were saying? Never mind. This was a waste of time. He's just going to tell more lies. The witness will focus on his testimony, not his phone calls. Now, tell the court what you did after you saw the mayor open the forbidden chamber. Well, after that...
Hold it!
What was Mr. Filch like at the time? was shouting, I can't see, I can't see. It's the curse of Temmataro. Then he took off running like a madman. He must have been blinded by the sudden light flooding in. Wrong. What? He set eyes upon me and was truly blinded by my radiant beauty. So it was the curse of Florent Nobel rather than Temmataro? Yes, such a beauty can be a curse. It's almost criminal. The only thing criminal here is your ceaseless jabbering. Now get on with your testimony. Oh, forgive me your darkness. Let's see. Oh yes, I fled for dear life for Temmataro and... Do we still have our testimony?
Objection!
Yes, we do. Florent Nobel, you're lying about having to witness these events from the hallway. What on earth do you mean, Yugi boy? Yes, care to fill in the rest of us in, Mr. Justice? Is no one here paying attention to what's already been provided by the court? If Mr. Nobel had fled down into the hall with the phone in it, he would have crossed paths with Miss Tenma. What's this? After she discovered the crime scene, she immediately went to call the police. Then, after making the call, she went back to the main hallway, whereupon she encountered the demon yokai, for whatever you want to call it. F for Filch. As for me, I call Phineas Filch in Temmataro costume. The encounter happened right here where the hallways meet. As for Mr. LaBelle, if he had fled here, feigning escape from the yokai imposter... Why, yes. The two would have crossed paths. Right, except Miss Tenma told us there was no one else in the hall. In short, Miss Temmataro, or Miss Tenma... Miss Tenmataro did not see you in the hall because you were never really there. Ah! My eyes! My beautiful eyes! Ah, not a fabulous scent now, is it? That was great. I want him to do it again. He deserves to be blinded. Ah, but Mr. Justice, the witness also stated that he heard the mayor confess. If he was lying about hearing the confession from the hall, then where was he when he heard it? Inside the Fox Chamber, where else? But isn't that with the very crime scene? It is, Your Honor, and that means he's not really a witness. Rather, he's the third party I've been alleging this whole time. What? You think I'm the killer? How dare you? We saw the intro. We know it was you. You can't lie yourself out of this one.
Silence!
Foolish fop. A true man knows when he is beaten. A shield of lies comes not to before a foe with the sword of truth bared. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you? I thought we were on the same side. You are mistaken. There are no sides here save for my cold steel edge of judgment. You are alone upon this battlefield with naught but lies and sickly sweet perfume. Whoa, what just happened? Blackwell's really tearing into him. You heard the mayor's confession from the inside, did you not, you deviant dandy? But the sole location from which you could have seen and heard the mayor and the Tanuki, without either of them noticing you were there in the Fox Chamber. Oh my! So that's how it's going to be. Fine, I'll become clean then. Seriously? You admit to being there in the Fox Chamber. Y'all talking about pearls and all this stuff while I'm like trying to get this guy in prison. To be fair, Pearls is cute, so... I did enter the room after the murder. But I was afraid of being falsely accused, so I lied about it, which puts me in worse position than I would have been if I've just told the truth. I feel terrible about lying and all like that, but it's a verbal cologne I use to protect myself. You better explain yourself, LaBelle. Yes, of course. I was just about to get to that. You're about to play Halo? Halo's tomorrow. Today's Apollo Justice. I mentioned it yesterday when we were doing the stream. You were there. Yes, of course. I was just about to get to that. Yeah, he is. He is. The witness is skating on thin ice. I'll remind you that perjury is a very serious crime. And he's done it multiple times now. But you're still giving him a third chance. But if it was me, oh no, you're barred from doing a court case anymore, Mr. Phoenix. Now, let's hear your testimony again, this time without your perfume of lies. Why is he being so poetic? In the Fox Chamber. Gordon? I did enter the Fox Chamber after the murder. But I didn't enter until after Jinxie had heard the confession and left. You're still telling that she went down there to the foyer. I heard the man groan and hid behind the folding screen there. What I saw up there close was absolutely horrifying. So you see, I was there, merely watching from behind the screen. From behind the screen? Why, yes, I believe you wouldn't be spotted if you were there. Just so, you could see everything without being spotted by the victim or that Tanuki filch. Suffice to say, he was a mere witness to the events rather than an actual third party. This guy's as slippery as an eel. Apollo, you think he's telling the truth? No! Well, he was in the Fox Chamber, so at least that much must be true. The defense may cross-examine our slightly voyeuristic witness. You try your Pegasus voice? Oh, God. I can try, but it won't be good. I'll just do it on the line that we've already read. Oh, Yugi boy. I did enter the chamber after the murder, Yugi boy. It's awful! It's god-awful! Don't make me do it!
Hold it!
I need to watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series in order to get it back again. Why in the world did you enter that grisly crime scene? Like your Black Will voice? Well, thank you. Why? Because I was worried sick. Mayor Timmer's suit. It what? Was designed personally by me. I was worried for my work of art getting blood on it. This man clearly has his priorities in order. Okay, let's get this over with, shall we? Now, where was I? Oh, yes, I entered the Fox Chamber without almost thinking. Just say Yugi Boy a few times. Yugi Boy, Yugi Boy, Yugi Boy. I summoned him.
Hold it!
Why did you enter right away? And ruin my designer shoes? Your shoes? Even now, just thinking about getting blood on my fabulous footwear. It sends chills down my spine. That's why I hesitated.
Objection!
That's terrible. A man was dying and another injured, and you worried about your shoes?
Silence!
Amazing how his VA can pull it off after all these years. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard him recently, but if he's still able to do it, that is talent. Because there was like, what was it? You know when they started up doing X-Men 97? And they managed to get all the original voice actors, but you can tell that it's been years later because some of them just don't sound the same anymore. The fact that he's able to still do it is just, wow. Need I remind you, this court of law, we are not teaching morality. We have schools of etiquette and the like for such trivial pursuits. Now, you listen to me, you deceptive dandy. Get to the point and be quick about it. Yes, well, I was there in the Fox Chamber, but...
Hold it!
Wait a second. Why did you hide yourself? Oh my, so you do understand. I do? By hiding, I was concealing my fabulous beauty, which, for the sake of the universe, is something I should never ever do. That's what you were thinking, right? I'm sensing a black hole of egocentricity forming around the witness stand. Big words hard. We can deliberate this mental process after another time. Get on with the testimony now. Well, regarding the murder scene.
Hold it!
Could you describe the crime scene in a bit more detail? And what exactly would you like details about? Well, what I'd like to ask you about is... murder weapon. Could you describe the state of the murder whereabouts of that, the weapons that had been used at the scene? How about the Roman Emperor Caligula declared war on Poseidon and had his soldiers attack the ocean with spears? That's not a prime minister! You failed! Get out! The spear that had all been thrust all the way through Alderman Cuby. Then there was a statuette that Alderman used to bludgeon Mayor Tenma. That incredibly inspiring symbol had fallen to the floor. Oh right, the statue. But why would he find it inspiring? Why exactly did you find the statue inspiring? Well, when I saw that statue, I felt as if the merger had been realized. It was like a celebration of the union between Tenma and village, an inspiring symbol of goodwill. A broken statue next to a bloody corpse. Real inspiring. Well, Mr. Justice, do you consider his statement to be of any importance? Is it important? Very. Because how would he have seen it? It's beside the chair. We couldn't see it until we went around. I believe this to be extremely important. I request that it be added to the testimony. The statue had fallen to the floor. It was a token of goodwill celebrating the municipal merger. The statue has traces of blood from the defendant Damien Tenma on it. It was apparently wrapped in a large cloth on which the defendant's blood was found. No fingerprints could be lifted.
Objection!
Yeah, how would he been able to see it? Number one, it was wrapped up, and number two, it was on the opposite side of the chair. Your lies have finally betrayed you, Mr. LaBelle. What possibly could you mean? You said this statue was like a celebration of union between town and village. Isn't that correct? It is indeed, but what of it? The two yokai are joining hands in goodwill. As if they were celebrating the municipal merger. Is something the matter? So, how do you really know that this statue was meant to be a symbol of goodwill again? What? Justice Dono, explain yourself and make it quick. This statue was meant to symbolize goodwill in its original form, but that was a secret. A secret? Whatever do you mean? What I mean is that it broke when someone used it to strike Mayor Tenma on the head. What's left clearly makes it look like the two yokai are battling it out. The statue's secret and its form, a true form, were lost inside the locked room. For Miss Tenma is the only living soul who should know what it looked like once. So, Mr. LaBelle, where could you have possibly seen the statue in its original form? What do you mean, where? The only possible answer is this. You saw the statue in its original form. right there in the room when the alderman was murdered after before it broken. Yeah! How dare you? Mr. Justice, are you accusing the witness of some sort of crime? Yes. Yes, I am. Lord LaBelle, I accuse you of the murder of Alderman Rex Hubie. Ah! Guitar time. Order, order. Mr. LaBelle, you've been accused of murder. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Your Honor, this is bullshit. I'm too beautiful to go to prison. Oh, how could you possibly accuse me, the embodiment of beauty? Way to go, Apollo. This is conclusive evidence we needed. Magnifico. Or Magnifico. Whatever. We got you now. We know you killed the alderman. Now admit it.
Silence.
Stop making the music stop. Enough of your silly games, Justice Dono. This prancing peacock could not possibly be the killer.
Objection!
What are you talking about? His alibi has already crumbled to dust. And I just proved that he was in the Fox chamber while it was still locked. Tight.
Silence.
Why could he have not seen the statue in its true form before the murder? After all, he was close friends with the alderman. There you go. Yes, that's right. I clearly remember it now. Alderman Hubie told me about it. And what the statue actually looked like. I mean, he was good friends of mine.
Objection!
Yeah, right. He wouldn't show you a secret gift just like that.
Silence.
Moreover, it was already proven that he was not present at the scene of the crime. It has? Forgotten, have we? Recall the little scamp statement, if you will. When Dixie Timber unlocked the Fox chamber, she said she saw the alderman and the mayor collapse therein. No one else. Oh, dang it. The fact is, it was you two who made the apparent in yesterday's court session. Thus, Florent LaBelle could not have been in that locked room. He just admitted to being in that locked room. You can't just say, oh, well, this person said something different. Therefore, it completely validates what you just guessed. Not when the witness themselves said, no, I was in the room. Ugh. No! Ah! I just don't get it. How could Jinxie not have seen LaBelle? Proof is incontrovertible. No room for debate exists. Am I not right, your boldness? It does seem awfully conclusive. The facts point to the defendant and the victim being the only people in that locked room. Moreover, the defendant has already confessed. In a testimony, not the defendant personally in person right there.
Objection! Silence.
I didn't even get a chance to say anything. You cannot defend the indefensible. Your role in this charade is over, Justice Dono. But your boldness. This trial would last an eternity if we were to keep crossing blade with these simpletons. It is high time we brought down the hammer of justice. Point well made. I believe it is time to declare a verdict. This court finds the defendant Damien Tenma. Hold it. Caw. It would seem that my time is at hand. Mayor Tenma? Counselor, there is a matter to which I must testify. I record it now only for your good graces. Counselor? Alright, he must be me. Has he finally remembered what happened before that blow to his head? Bailiff, don't just stand there, seize him. It's no good, I can't restrain him. Ka, know me and despair. For I am Tenmataro, demon lord of the yokai. Mr. Justice, do something. Since when am I responsible for court security? Apollo, this is our chance. We might get some new information out of him. Your Honor, seeing as our client has something new to say, I believe due process demands that we hear him out, even if he is a yokai. When you put it that way. Still, I believe testimony but a yokai is unprecedented in the legal world. Unprecedented in absurdity, more like. All right then, Mr. Damien Tenma, or should I say Mr. Tenmataro? Your testimony, please. I shall now speak of recollections most real, courtesy of my host, Damien Tenma. Heed these words, mortal, for you hear them but once you shall. Caw. There we go. When I see a fight between Blackwell and Tenma, it would be pretty cool. Like, punches the sword that he has. They have like a chain fight. Mr. Tenma like headbutts Blackwell, does a body slam. Blackwell does a backflip out of it. Sends his bird. Barely conscious was Damien there, and amid the darkness, suddenly the two yokai did appear. On one side, I, Tenmataro, ruler of demonkind, and on the other, my mortal enemy, the nine-tailed fox. So this defendant is asserting that the room he was in was very dark at the time? Strange as it may be, yes. Indeed, all was in darkness. And the part about Tenmataro and the nine-tailed fox being there? Yes, that's true. Tenmataro towered overhead and the nine-tailed fox glittered gold. I call out no abuse, Your Honor. It would seem that the defendant's recollections are not to be trusted. Yes, well, truth be told, my host's recollections are still a bit fuzzy, as his half-dreamt that happening lingers in his mind. Apollo, maybe I can help here. Really? Oh, you mean... Yeah, I can hear it. The Discord in his heart. He's receiving a call from multiple people on Discord. I sense an unusual emotion in Emer's memory of the event. He feels hot. I don't know. Okay, I just hope our findings don't come back to haunt us. Again. Smiley face. Whee! Barely conscious was Damien Timber in the darkness. Suddenly, two yokai appeared. On one side, I, Tenmataro, ruler of demonkind. The other mortal enemy was Nine-Tailed Fox. Why are you happy? When the Nine-Tailed Fox appeared, you not only experienced shock and sadness, but also something like joy as well. Joy? Perhaps it is a story as the light coming into my eyes at long last. How did I miss the Discord joke? A long and terrible creaking pierced the silence. And then there was light. On reflection, it was a door that did produce that infernal racket. A creaking door? Oh, you must be talking about the Forbidden Chamber door. This isn't a flashback. It does take a lot of noise. So this means the Forbidden Chamber really was opened. But what about the sudden light he described? I think I know. He mentioned darkness and a Tenmataro towering overhead. Maybe the mayor wasn't really in the Fox chamber at the time of the crime. Mr. Mayor, did the darkness that you were in happen to be here?
Take that!
The Forbidden Chamber? Was it not the Fox chamber where the murder did occur? Yes, but it all makes sense if you were in the Forbidden Chamber. The terrible creaking sound was probably the Forbidden Chamber doors opening. And the towering Tembatara you saw? Most likely the Forbidden Chamber statue. Why, yes, that would explain it. The darkness and the staff in the demon's grasp. But even if all that's true, then what about the nine-tailed fox? Maybe he was seeing things, just like Jinxie had an imaginary yokai? Fantastico! Apollo, it's entirely possible. I'm honestly surprised there's no Harry Potter jokes in the Forbidden Chamber. Hey, you've ruined it now. Oh, there was going to be one. Aw. In a groggy dreamlike state, people can misremember things and events. Misremember, you say? Let me think. I do believe I remember now. That was not the nine-tailed fox. It was the amazing Ninetails. What? The amazing Ninetails? At first, this is but a dream, I thought. Now, however, most clearly do I recall. Well, it's the amazing Ninetails who did open the Forbidden Chamber's door. 60%. I'm sorry I asked. Amazing Ninetails? But that was the victim, Alderman QB, right? Yeah. Why would he open the Forbidden Chamber? Wasn't he trying to keep it sealed? Never mind that, he was completely new information. Let me enter it and run an update. Barely conscious was Damien. A mighty statue of Tembataro loomed overhead. Suddenly the door did open and a shaft of light did pierce the gloom. Ring ding tiles have come to the rescue. Why are you sad about that?
Got it!
When the amazing Ninetails opened the chamber, banishing the darkness within, you felt joy, but didn't you also feel shock and sadness? Yes, in the hazy depths of my mind, I do recall something of that nature. That Apollo should be a meme. Apollo face. Yeah, it's at these moments where I really wish I had emotes, because then I could do that. I could just have an Apollo face as an emote. But I'm poor. I'm not famous enough, so I don't have that. I believe it was the fiend's cape of red. For when I did behold it, a great wave of sadness did inexplicably wash over me. 20%, we're almost there. A cape of red? Apollo, we've reduced the noise level. Oh, but there's still a little bit left. Mayor Temma, why were you sad when you saw the red cape? Why indeed. What could this mean? I guess his memory's still a little spotty. And no, because his latest recollection contradicts the evidence. Yeah, it's one of those contradictions that slaps you right across the face. Yes, I know what this contradiction is. Something just obvious could arise when someone is trying to force a fuzzy memory into a definitive shape. Apollo, I know what you have to do. You need to present evidence that contradicts the image you see. Oh, so it's basically the same as the usual cross-examination process. Okay, time to review the evidence. Look out these contradictions. Here comes justice! Bin chamber. The mighty statue of Tembataro overhead looked. Then the door did open and a shaft of light did pierce the gloom. These are Ninetails had come to the rescue. He does not have a cape.
Objection!
You said the main Ninetails' cape was red. Are you sure about that? Yes, well, I do believe it was a red cape I saw, but... Mayor Tenma, does this cape look red to you? Oh, that certainly does not look red. Not even scarlet or crimson either. Nevertheless, upon my liberation, something red did fill my head. My yet as hazy field of view. Was it your own blood? And I thought to myself, the amazing Ninetales is arrayed in a cape of red. So you mistook the red something for this cape, huh? Apparently so, and remembering it now brings a great sadness upon me. So the red something probably wasn't a cape after all. Maybe the great sadness he mentioned is what interfering with his memory. Well, he would have seen the fox chamber behind the amazing Ninetales. What red object could he have seen there that would have been that shocking? Maybe it was blood. Nah. I know, could it have been? Mr. Mayor, was the red thing you saw this? You know, the big freaking stab wound?
Take that!
Something red that could produce a deep sadness. Could it be, Mr. Temmer, that what you saw was the alderman's blood? Blood? Why, yes, was blood. Oh! Oh! Ah! Why are you making all that noise? It's all coming back to me now. It wasn't a cape of red that I saw. It was lying behind the amazing Ninetales, the alderman's bloody body. That's just weird. Bye-bye. His noise level is down to 0. I think he's remembered everything now. Does this mean the Amazing Ninetales killed Alderman Cubey? But the Alderman was the Amazing Ninetales, so how exactly would that work? Hey, I asked you first. Well, Mr. Justice, you surely know how to make a complicated matter even more complicated. True, but at the time of the crime, our client was in the Forbidden Chamber. Moreover...
Silence!
Hoy, don't think this is strange. This little scamp had already confirmed her father to be in the Fox Chamber. But she said naught about seeing the amazing Ninetales there. You just had to bring that up, didn't you? Jinxie didn't see Nibel's there either. It's so weird. Who really was in that room then? Would the defense declare to share any theories with the court? Can you explain the inconsistencies between the defendant's testimony and his daughter? Can you? How about you do something for once, Judge? How about you come up with a theory? It's not all on me. No. Explaining something like that would be completely... possible. My colleague here is going to explain it so it's crystal clear. I am? Even if you can't explain it, you can't let them know that. Just make something up. Just pull something out your ass. I don't hear you helping. Not with more of your bluffs and fairy tales, I trust. Fair warning, Justice Dono. I shall have your head if you fail to explain this. Eat. What a good old-fashioned penalty. Well, Mr. Justice, let's see if you have a head worth keeping on your shoulders. First of all, Mr. LaBelle was definitely in the Fox Chamber while it was locked. We also know that Mayor Tenma was in the Forbidden Chamber past based on his testimony. These two facts are crucial to my explanation. So let's consider the following question. If the facts point to Florent LaBelle and the victim being there at the scene, why did Jinxie see the victim and her father, Mayor Tenma? A very good question indeed, and I suppose you have an answer for us. Sadly, you would be supposing wrong. You think she could have mistaken LaBelle for the mayor? Well, if she did, then the question is, why did she do that? Well, how about the explanation, Mr. Justice? I believe the time for question is over. I like that I was like starting out normal, and then when I realized I was not talking as a job, I just went. I had to immediately switch voices. The defense asserts that Florent Bell was at the scene of the crime. However, Jinxie Tenma has testified that she saw her father collapse there. If she was in fact misremembered the event, who could have made her do so? It's the only explanation that makes sense, because there's no way she would have got the rooms mixed up. The figure Miss Tenma saw was not her father. It was Florent Lebel disguised as Damien Tenma.
Silence!
That is a complete impossibility. Their faces are utterly unlike. How could you explain that away with mere disguise? Yes, they do have incredibly distinctive faces. Maybe the disguise completely hid his face? I think Jinxie would have mentioned it if he could see her father's face. And if it was that sort of disguise, wouldn't she have removed it? Oh, right. Your sword is as dull as your mind, Justice Dono. Shall I show you what a truly sharp blade is capable of? I think I'll pass. Ah! And then that Justice was dead. Huh. Are you okay, Apollo? I'm not fine, am I? Well, now that we have the little fairy tale out of the way. Your baldness, your verdict, if you will. Mr. Justice, I believe it's time for a verdict. You have no further arguments. What's even left for me to do? Apollo, remember what Mr. Wright always says? When you're stuck in a tight spot, turn the case upside down. Turn the case upside down? He does say that, doesn't he? I don't quite see how it applies here. Still, never hurts to give it a try, I guess. Let's see. Rather than Jinxie didn't remove the disguise, maybe she couldn't remove it? And rather than she didn't tell anyone about the disguise, maybe it was she couldn't talk about it. Oh, so I chose the correct option? So I was right. He was dressed like... Oh, God. He was dressed like the Amazing Ninetales. A wrestler's mask is more precious than her own life. He'd never unmask himself in front of others. But there are matches where the wrestlers battle for the right to remove each other's masks. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why the masks are more important than the lives of the dead. And what about the fact that it was the Amazing Ninetales who opened the door? A mask that can't be removed in front of the others. Can these facts turn any things around? We got it all backwards. Apollo? I think we might have made a huge mistake. Your boldness, I see no need to further indulge them in silly farce. The defense has no proof. They never did and they never will. Then it seems that I must announce my verdict.
Objection!
That was a very wobbly objection. I do have proof. Do you now? All right, but this better be good, Mr. Justice. We can solve the remaining riddles by turning all our assumptions upside down. Why Jinxie mistook Mr. LaBelle for her father? Why she couldn't remove the costume or tell anyone about it in the first place? These riddles are inextricably linked to the Mayor Temma's secret identity. A shocking secret identity that would turn the entire premise of this case upside down. This piece of evidence clearly reveals Mayor Temma's secret identity.
Take that!
Ugh. What absolute crap-trap poppycock balderdash. We thought that the alderman was the Amazing Ninetales and the mayor was Temma Taro. That's why we believe the mayor killed the alderman in his lust for Ninetales Vale. but it was the basis for the prosecution's entire case against our client. However, we got the whole thing backwards. Violins coming in. Mayor Temma wasn't Temataro at all. He was the amazing Ninetales. Her face. What's this? You'd best explain yourself, Justice Dono. And from where you derive such a far-fetched conclusion. Jinxie no doubt knew the identity of the amazing Ninetales, and she couldn't tell anyone no matter what. And that's why she didn't say it was the amazing Ninetales she saw passed out. That switch is so bad. It looks so sad. It's just like, hey, just pop it on. Even though, unbeknownst to her, it was really Florent Nobel in disguise.
Silence!
The accused and that deceitful dandy are utterly dissimilar in physical build and voice. The little scamp would have seen the difference.
Objection!
Remember that Mr. LaBelle has his own very brand of cosmetics. Why couldn't he fake a different build too? And anyone speaking through a mask would naturally sound different.
Silence!
Why did she not simply pull the mask off?
Objection!
A masked wrestler's disguise is more precious than life itself. As a huge fan of the amazing Ninetales, she would never dare unmask him. Ugh. This case of mistaken identity also explains the riddle of the locked room. Then by all means, Mr. Justice, answer it for us already. First, Mr. LaBelle entered the room where the mayor and alderman were talking. I suspect he brought with him coffee laced with some sort of sedative. Once the alderman was out cold, he did the intro cinematic. And so Mr. LaBelle killed him. Next, he took the mayor, who had also been drugged, into the Forbidden Chamber, for some reason. And then he returned to the Fox Chamber, slipped into some of the mayor's spare clothes. Again, but how did he get in there if the mayor had swallowed the key? And completed the disguise by donning the amazing Ninetales mask. With his entire charade in place, Mr. LaBelle let out a scream. The scream that led Jinxie Temma to the scene. So then the person who said I killed Alderman QB was... Every time. Yep, that Florent Nobel in disguise. The mayor never actually confessed.
Silence!
This is no more than guesswork and speculation. Now stop your jabbering.
Objection!
No, you twisted samurai. This time you stop your jabbering and let me finish making my case. You get him, Phoenix! Apollo! Goddammit! Even now, once Temma left the scene, Mr. LaBelle, still wearing the mayor's clothes and mask, opened the Forbidden Chamber. So he could drag the mayor back out into the Fox Chamber. Oh, so like the amazing Ninetales the mayor saw was... Right, it was LaBelle opening the Forbidden Chamber. The second time Mr. LaBelle opened the door in the Forbidden Chamber, he had happened to catch the thieving Mr. Filch by surprise, who somehow didn't see the body of the man in there. Startled, Mr. Filch in his Temataro disguise ran as fast as he could away from the room. Wish we'd seen that more side of him, yeah. As he did, he left behind him a trail of feathers and tracks, and gave Miss Temma the scare of her life in the hallway. With no one left to witness the events that had occurred, Mr. LaBelle then proceeded to drag the sleeping mayor into the Fox Chamber. It's like how Phoenix was in that Grammary craze. Yeah. I see. Well, that certainly does make sense. Then, after dragging the mayor back into the Fox Chamber, Mr. LaBelle threw the mask out the window and fled the room.
Silence!
this absurd theory to work, it requires the defendant to be the amazing Ninetales. However, he was the one pushing for the municipal merger. That such an individual could possibly be the amazing Ninetales is preposterous.
Objection!
The mayor was blackmailed into pursuing the merger. Miss Tenma's life would have been in danger if he had openly voiced his opposition. That's why he created a secret identity as the amazing Ninetales. Ugh, this madness. No one could possibly hatch such an insane plot. I've run out of breath again. An insane plot. Breathe me. No one except a killer as insane as his plot, and I'd say Florent Lebel's more than qualifies because he's insane. Foolish mortal. It is as your own peril that you forget who I am. Mayor Tenma, it's okay now. Jinx, you'll be safe just as soon as Mr. Lebel is arrested. You are the amazing Ninetales, aren't you? Jinxie comes in, and she's like, no, he's not. I'm the amazing Ninetales. I am Spartacus. You have quite the imagination. Mayor Tenma is not the amazing Ninetales.
Objection!
What do you mean? Well, has the mayor admitted to it yet? But that's just... he was about to. Even if he did admit to such nonsense, I would reveal the truth behind Mayor Tenma Taro right here and now. What? Why, you would dare reveal the secret? My good friend the Alderman told me all about it. But it wouldn't be good to expose the truth, what with the superstitions now, would it? The truth behind the Tenma Taro? What's he talking about? So go ahead, say it. Say, I am the amazing Ninetales, I dare you. You are literally blackmailing someone in front of everyone in the court.
Objection!
Wait. Will somebody please explain what's going on here? Mayor Tenma will do anything to keep the truth behind Tenma Taro a secret. A dark, terrible truth that has been kept secret by the village superstitions. And if Mayor Tenma admits to being the amazing Ninetales, you'll expose the truth? Because it will be bad for you and you'll be going to prison? Right, I won't have him walking free because of some nonsense you made up. So what now, Justice Dono? Without the mayor's admission, your theory is as useless as you are in battle. I'll show you who's useless. Apollo, don't you dare give up now. I know. I was just saying to myself I wasn't. Your Honor, I believe Mr. Lebel's statement just warrants a thorough cross-examination. After all, the true identity of the amazing Ninetales is the cornerstone of this case. Jesus, why am I not breathing? You do have a point there. Please answer the court, Mr. Lebel. Is the defendant the amazing Ninetales or not? The amazing Ninetales' true identity is not Mayor Tenma. The mayor would never admit to such utter nonsense. But if he did admit to such nonsense, I would expose the truth behind Tenma Taro right here and now. And that would bring ruin upon Ninetales Vale, just as the superstitions say. Talk about out with the pot and into the fire. At this rate, the mayor will be found guilty for sure. Honestly speaking, if Damien Tenma is not the amazing Ninetales, I'm afraid I don't see how the defense has much of a case here. And let's just leave it at that, shall we? We all know Alderman Cupid was the amazing Ninetales anyway. I mean, that's how Ninetales Vale made a comeback. The Alderman was so popular. There's got to be a hole in that testimony somewhere. But I don't even know where to start. Since we don't have any proof that the mayor's the amazing Ninetales, then we'll just have to get him to admit it himself. But if he admits it, Libelle's going to expose the secret behind Temotaro. Oh no, that he's not real? Ugh, we're so close, I know it. The defense may cross-examine a witness. The amazing Ninetales' true identity. You know, completely off topic for a little bit, sort of. I do hope that the next trilogy, quotation marks, is Athena based. Like, she's the main character. Apollo does his own thing, Phoenix does his own thing, and one game is completely focused with Athena. That would be great. I want to play as Athena. I want to kick ass.
Hold it!
This whole case only makes sense if the mayor is the amazing Ninetales. I know you used his mask to create the illusion of a locked room murder.
Silence!
Nothing more than idle speculation. You've no evidence now, have you?
Objection!
Mr. Libelle knows what the statue originally looked like. That means he had to have been in the Fox chamber while it was locked tight. Sorry, but I heard about the statue from Alderman QB. If you don't believe me, just ask him. Oh, but what's that? The Alderman's dead? Looks like the joke's on you, Miss Sweaty Little Friend. Hello, mind if I wring his neck, the little bastard? Wait in line, because I'm going first. Temper, temper. Anyway. And I see this like trilogy, but one game will be fine too. Yeah, one game just on our own will be fine. That'd be great. But knowing, well, not Capcom, whoever's behind this will probably be like, yeah, we should do a trilogy.
Hold it!
The only nonsense here in this courtroom is you and your assertions. Tisk, tisk. Such anger is terrible for the skin, you know. Beauty is like a flower that blooms forth from a serene heart. Excuse me? I wouldn't expect a wilted peasant like you to understand. Perhaps this fragrance will help the blossom within you bloom. Ah! You'd like that, wouldn't you? Or didn't you? Enough jabbering about blossoms and whatnot. Get on with your testimony before I slice you into a bouquet of cut flowers. Oh dear, please excuse me. As I was saying, the assertion of our wilted attorney here is utter nonsense. Next time they do a Marvel vs. Capcom, Athena should be playable. Oh my god. I mean, she wouldn't be like objection. She would still do that, but she mostly just punch people.
Hold it!
You'd be arrested, wouldn't you? Yes, it's true. I would be sacrificed upon the altar of justice despite my innocence. Oh, what a terrible loss that would be the future of mankind's cosmetics needs. It's a tragedy that must be averted. Defend me if you understand this.
Silence!
The only terrible loss is the time wasted by your ceaseless yelling. If you would avert the tragedy awaiting you in that vexing visage of yours, then... Yes, I know. Get on with my testimony. Anyhow, suffice to say... Should the mayor admit to the defense nonsense, I will make good on my threat, and... Just admitted to making a threat. I need to see Athena Maya double suplex animated. Oh my god.
Hold it!
And just how did you learn of this so-called truth behind Temotaro? Alderman QB told me all about it. The secret of the Forbidden Chamber and the truth behind Temotaro, because, you know, he likes to explain random hidden facts that could destroy an entire village, you know. Why would he share secrets like that with you, Mr. Libelle? Because of the Alderman's wife. I was looking after her while she was hospitalized. He had a wife? He appreciated it so much he shared the secrets with me. Wait, did he threaten the Alderman in addition to the mayor? Don't tell me that's how he learned how to open the Forbidden Chamber. Needless to say, I'm not above revealing the truth behind Temataro.
Hold it!
Do not gaze upon Temataro. Do not tell others if you see him. Isn't that what the village superstitions say? Exactly. Telling others what Temataro looks like will reveal the truth. That's what the superstitions were written down in the first place. And Ruin come to the village if you free him. Is that a warning not to expose the truth? Bingo! And that truth is Temataro is a great greed-inspiring fortune. That's what the whole battle over Ninetales Vale is about. Temataro is a great fortune? Come to think of it. Only that it's the greatest get-rich chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it, said there's an amazing treasure in there. Could Temataro actually be... Telling the villagers that Temataro is a terrifying yokai is what has scared them away from the Forbidden Chamber and the treasure within. That's how the treasure has been kept secret all this time. Well, well, well. It seems our ace attorney here has uncovered the truth that must not be revealed. Mayor Tenma looks like he wants to keep the truth hidden as much as I do. The tragedy is doomed to repeat itself as long as Temataro exists. That's why the secret must be protected. As long as Temataro exists, huh? Good stuff. The first option, lol. Temataro. Mayor Tenma is Temataro, and he's a treasure. Mr. LaBelle, please add that statement to your testimony. Well, too bad for you. It doesn't anymore.
Objection!
Mr. LaBelle, what if Temataro no longer existed? Revealing the truth would no longer be an issue, would it? If Temataro no longer existed? What on earth are you talking about? Oh, apparently you haven't heard. Temataro no longer exists. But I guess you didn't get to do a thorough search after the key was taken from you. Because when we searched the Forbidden Chamber, there wasn't any treasure there. Really? Well, maybe you weren't looking in the right place. Sorry, but I have proof that Temataro no longer exists. Take a look at this figure. What do we have here? Looks like some sort of creature. What if the scene for the next case was the reason for the raiding? You know, I just have to point out, this game has had more blood than the entire Phoenix Wright trilogy. Just saying. Like, there's been blood in the other ones, but this is so much blood, it's like swimming in it. And we're only on, like, the second case. I found this in the Forbidden Chamber. It's an Izuki Kozo figure. But I will definitely say that, you know, the later cases do get more graphic. So, you know, that's why I love this one. And that's why I love him. The great thief Izuki Kozo used to leave them at the scene of his crimes. Are you suggesting that the Temataro has been stolen? Yep, Phineas Filch's grandfather, as a master thief, was the culprit. Yeah, no spoils. Remember, no spoils. And by that hideous moronic caretaker grandfather, no less. No! My beautiful golden Temataro was... The greed inspired by Temataro can no longer bring ruin upon Ninetales Vale. Isn't that right, Mayor Tenma? The root of the tragedy would indeed seem to be gone. In fact, I now recall the Alderman revealing the secret to me on the day of our meeting. He must have been speaking of Temataro. For he said to me the gold ingot was gone. The gold ingot? You mean the treasure is Temataro's true form? Recall, if you will, the scroll of the Forbidden Chamber. Temataro is the yellowish object shown there. A giant gold ingot that my nomadic ancestors bestowed upon Ninetales Vale. In return for that gold, my ancestor did receive from Ninetales Vale, land that would become Tenma Town. But drive the villagers mad with greed did the fortune. Bitter with their greed-fueled battle, it was as if they were possessed. My ancestors' gold became a curse upon their villagers, a curse of ruin. Thus it was that the yokai Tenma came to be. So Tenma and the village superstitions were merely fairy tales to scare people away. Fairy tale or not, Tenma made quite the mess of things. Yes, indeed, for there is no greater monster than a mortal man's lust for gold. Well, you know what they say. The love of money is the root of all evil. My ancestors did bring a terrible thing there to Ninetales Vale. A thing so terrible that Tenma, a monster just as terrible, had to be created to keep it a secret. Yet we have naught but love for the little village to which we owe our very existence. Tenma would never seek to take over Ninetales Vale in a merger. Oh my, this is quite a shocking lesson in history. Mr. Tenma, now that we know that Tenma no longer exists, are you ready to admit your secret? You are the amazing Ninetales, aren't you? No, don't do it. Please, no. Begone, you demented demon. Now where was I? The Golden Lord of Yokai, the amazing Ninetales, is indeed me. You get the point. And that means Jinxie. Yes? The man wearing the mayor's clothes who saw you collapse in the fox chamber. Who you saw collapsed. Was he wearing the Amazing Ninetales fact? Amazing Ninetales mask. Uh-huh. That's what made me think it was Papa. He said he was going to reveal his secret identity to Alderman QB. What is wrong with me? Alderman QB that day, so it really wasn't Papa I saw there, was it? It was Ford's idea from the start. He advised me to reveal my secret identity to the Alderman. Yeesh, Rube Goldberg machines have less elaborate setups than LaBelle's schemes. You may rest easy now, little Jinxie. That monster's deception is through. Caw. Why are you still acting like him then? The true fact behind the case has finally come to light. Mayor Tenma did not kill Alderman QB. But Florent LaBelle did. How dare you, peasant? No!
Silence!
Justice, Dono. You should at least have a real blade in your hands if you desire to cross swords with me. Or have you mistaken this battlefield for a training ground? What's this guy want now? Evidence is like a razor-sharp blade that cuts through bone as though it were butter. Words. Words are word. Yes. You're sticking with that now. That was what you meant to say. But you have only blind guesses, a dull blade incapable of cutting even a cake. He has you there, Mr. Justice. Even though two people have corroborated the evidence, you're wrong. After all, evidence is everything in a court of law. But that's right. Let me see some evidence. Of course, a perfect being like me wouldn't leave any incriminating evidence behind. This is the final battle. Just as the samurai must live and die by the sword. You will live or die by the evidence you hold. My swift blade of judgment awaits. Now present your conclusive evidence, or don't you have any? Oh, crud. Do I have any conclusive? No, I don't have anything. Ugh, I can't think of anything. But there has to be some kind of evidence I can present. No, give up. Don't give up now, Apollo. No, let me give up, Athena. Let's try reviewing the case again. I'm fine. She's right, I can't give up now. This whole trial would have been for nothing. I know there has to be some conclusive evidence somewhere. This is the case of, like, giving me a false option, like saying, I do or I don't, but then if you choose to I don't, you still get pushed to I do. So there's no point to give me this option. Just do the option. Oh, I'm going into my super brain. What the hell? Let's review the facts. The most damning evidence against the mayor was the crime scene itself. The mayor and the victim were the only two people found in the room. Also, we all thought the alderman was killed because he was the Amazing Ninetales. But as we know now, of course we were way off. The Amazing Ninetales is really Mayor Damien Tenma. That's why when his daughter saw the Amazing Ninetales collapse at the scene, she mistook him for her father. Those are the facts as we have revealed. However, Mr. LaBelle asserts that he did not leave any evidence at the scene of the crime, but he didn't say anything about evidence outside of the crime scene. Maybe he isn't as clever as he thinks he is. Does any of the evidence outside of the crime scene provide any clues? Okay, this is actually smart. He's giving me two options that were actually outside the crime scene. We've got one that was in the inside the Forbidden Chamber, and one that was literally outside of the room in the water. I'm gonna go with the mask, because the hand cream might be wrong. A clue inside the mask? Oh, I know. The Amazing Ninetales mask was found alongside the river. What sort of clue does the mask hold? Patch of golden anno fur. It was found caught in the window at the crime scene. Oh, but that's evidence from inside the Fox Chamber. I should be thinking of evidence that was found outside the scene right now. This is so cool. I love this. I'm glad they brought this in. I don't know if they do it that much, but I love it. It's so cool. It's like I'm actually trying to figure things out. I don't think you can fail these, can you? No, I just did the wrong option. I just went, oh, you're right. White hair in the mask. What about the hair left in the mask? Who does it belong to? The hair in the mask belonged to the alderman? So the true identity of Ninetales is the alderman? No, of course it isn't. What am I thinking? I'm just doing it because I just want to see the wrong options. They use it at least once per case. They didn't do it in the previous case. That sucks. Someone who has been wearing the mask at the crime scene. What should I focus on? Let's think about that again. Whee! Negative color. The white hair is LaBelle's. All right, the hair is Florent LaBelle's. Yes, now that's what I call conclusive evidence. Out of his brain. I like that because it's really cool because it makes it think that the character is actually thinking things through rather than just throwing crap together. He's actually going, okay, review the evidence. What have we got? That's cool. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have any conclusive evidence to present to this court? Yes, I do. Observe this mask, if you will. The mask? How is that conclusive evidence? It's not the mask itself, but the white hair inside it. We originally thought it belonged to Alderman QB Rex. Rex QB. Yes, but the Amazing Ninetales, as we know, is Mayor Tenma, so... That is correct. So the question is, whose hair could this be? And the answer to that is the last person to have worn it before it was discarded. That would be you, Mr. Florent LaBelle. It's even better in Spirit of Justice. What are you talking about? I've never had hideous white hair like that.
Silence.
Oh, well then, I can't wait to go into Spirit of Justice then for that. It would appear your coup de grace failed to hit its mark. This freakish fop is not the white-haired type, because he's busy being one ludicrously garish color or another.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Blackwell. It's you has been made a fatal error. What? Remember where this mask was found? It washed up by the side of the river. With that in mind, this last piece of evidence will solve all of the remaining riddles.
Take that!
Oh, that's... Tara's eyes go wide when he slams the desk. Yeah. What's that? This is Mr. Lavelle's own private brand of hair color. It washes out just with water. The court will also recall that the Amazing Ninetales mask was washed up along the side of the village river with the white hair inside it. What's this? Are you saying that Queen Peacock's hair color is... That's exactly what I'm saying. Mr. LaBelle's hair color is a freaky work of fiction. But thanks to the river flowing through Ninetales Vale, we now have a real-life expose. Oh! The white hair in his mask is conclusive evidence proving you're the real killer. A DNA test is all we need to prove it, and we both know what will get a match. Admit it! The life choices is must have previously stated. Indeed. Life choices. In this game that question her life choice. Oh, okay. Florent Bell, you were the one who killed Alderman Rex Cuby. You peasant, how dare you! Ah! You profane my beauty, I'm going to summon you like an alderman. Ah! Oh, he has teeth, that's disturbing. No, my makeup! How is he not dead from that much spray? Hello, this is LaBelle. What? The project is off? Is this LaBelle? The sponsors have pulled out. LaBelle speaking. I'm fired? You mean I'm no longer Mayor Temmer's aide? Hello, this is LaBelle. What? There's a stratospheric damages claim against me? $100 million! I'm finished, washed up, stick a fork in me, I'm done! It's preposterous! I summon Blackwell defeated! Order! Order in the court! Well, this is quite the unexpected outcome. I must hand it down to you, Mr. Justice. You really turned this case on its head, just like that other lawyer, Phoenix Wright. You two work together. It's very strange that you work the same way. Wait, was that a compliment? Right? Professor Blackwell, or prosecutor, not professor. We're not in school. What have you done with Florent Bell? That a faced man has withered like a flower without water. One of the officers is currently tending to him with a sprinkler. Wouldn't that just wash even more of his makeup off? Allow me to explain the actions of the guilty party in detail. The motive, of course, was to steal the gold ingot known as Tenmataro. However, few are allowed into the manor. Allowed into the manor. Wow. Okay. Into the manor due to its cultural ties to Ninetales Vale. The Bell set in motion plans to gain access to the manor and the gold within via the merger. But the efforts of the Amazing Ninetales saw those plans come to a halt. And thus LaBelle murdered the alderman and attempted to pin the blame on Mayor Tenma. I see, but what I still can't comprehend is why he would go after the gold in the first place. Mr. LaBelle doesn't look like someone who is in need of a financial aid. LaBelle hid his past well. Much like he did hide the beauty with makeup, he's mired in debt. Debt due to the pouring money into a brand only he could love. Which is why he sought the gold with such voracity. Too bad for him, someone else had gotten to it first anyway. I see. Very well then. I believe it is time I declared a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Damien Tenma, not guilty. Now go home. They really need to get a better look of people clapping. Court is adjourned. April 19th, 1:23 p.m. That was some seriously good lawyering, Apollo. Even I didn't see that coming. Just got lucky, I guess. You banished Temataro from Ninetales Vale like he was some kind of exorcist. There's still one thing I don't understand. How come Mr. LaBelle didn't kill Mayor Tenma too? He could have set it up so the mayor murdered the alderman then died from a counterattack. I would have removed at least one possible fly from the ointment. I was worrying about that too. But I have a hunch Mr. LaBelle was biding his time. He was planning on exposing the Amazing Ninetales' true identity himself. Huh? Well, why? Because the mayor was the Amazing Ninetales. Had LaBelle succeeded in framing Mayor Tenma for the alderman's murder, the wrestler's popularity would have plummeted once his identity was revealed. Oh, I get it. If the Amazing Ninetales was just killed, he'd die a hero. But if he was proven a villain, his fans would abandon him, making the merger that much easier. Right. Then when the merger was completed and everything cooled down, he'd be able to search the Forbidden Chamber at his leisure. What an insanely intricate plot. Ha ha ha, a most excellent job clearing my name. A feat worthy of the Demon Lord's approval. Why are you acting like Temataro again? Let this be of no concern to you. How could it not concern me? Temataro be gone! Ugh. Jinxie, seems like ages since I've laid eyes on you. Puppy, you're finally back. Yes, it would seem that Temataro is no match for you. Ha ha ha. I'm not scared of that silly yokai anymore. Your father's a free man now, Jinxie. Isn't that great? Thank you all for all you've done. Seeing you guys in action, it made me feel like I don't have to be afraid anymore. She's standing like a normal person. Wait, is Jinxie actually smiling? This is all thanks to you two. Too bad the Amazing Ninetales will have to retire, though. Aw, how come? Well, I just got hit on the head. That gave me freaking a concussion. I think I'm possessed by a demon. You know, I kind of want to break. Once everyone hears I'm the Amazing Ninetales, my fan base will... Oh, nosedive. For some reason, I was reading that weird. I was like, no sedive. And I was like, what's no sedive? What? What? After all, I'm not the most popular of people. Another reason for my secret identity. I don't see how I could possibly continue. I think you misjudged yourself. Take a look outside. Say, now that you mention it, what is all that noise out there? A big crowd gathered outside the courthouse once the news broke. Seems they want to get a glimpse of the Mayor Damien Tenma, the man behind the mask. And to root for your return to the wrestling ring. Rooting? For me? But I thought it was nothing more than a malefactor in their eyes. The only one who's really matters is Jinxie. Show her how cool you really are. Yeah, you're the coolest when you're out there fighting in the ring, Papa. Jinxie. Here, I think you'll be needing this. He's obviously the mask, but, you know, I wanted to save just in case. Thank you. Now, if you would excuse me. I don't want to keep my fans waiting. It's an animated cutscene! And then he died.
Ninetales Vale forever!
I sure hope you can settle that problems between Timbertown and Ninetales Vale. Me too. I'm sure they'll be fine after all. The blackmailer slash killers behind bars and the merger's no longer an issue. Plus, the Amazing Ninetales is obviously still a hit. I suspect Ninetales Vale will be too. And it's all because we believed in our client. Just like you said. Okay, people. Now that we've got one in the bag, let's go do something to eat. Or go get something to eat. I'm starving. Sounds good. I'm so nervous I haven't eaten since yesterday. Better keep you know, Apollo. Or you might need to start looking up at me. Huh? I'm definitely past growth phase and you should probably be about past yours too. Are you kidding me? I'm just getting started. Also, I kept growing past 18, so you can shut up, Apollo. Ready or not, it's face stuffing time. Keep eating like that in your own direction, you'll grow as sideways. Oh my god. About Timber and Wright talking about how much they love their daughters. Oh god. Very funny. But I've got a hollow leg. I can eat as much as I want without gaining an ounce. That's a saying? I've never heard of that. Really? Well, I can't wait to see this. Calories? Huh, just let him try to stick them on me. Alright, ready you two? Oh, alright already you two. Let's get going before the old man closes shop. Aldoon's Noodles is an all-night stand, you know. Really? You're gonna go to the salty place? I thought you didn't like it. Oh no, that was Apollo. Oh, Mr. Wright, let's go. I've been waiting to have a bowl from there ever since Mr. Wright told me about him. Well, what are you waiting for? The noodles are on me today, so I expect some serious eating from you two. Athena and Apollo. Apollo is in his 20s and he's 5 foot. Oh, yeah. Avi is 5'8". Yay, thanks, boss. I won't let you down. Athena has no idea what she's getting into. Mr. Elder's noodles are so hot and salty. 2 bowls would kill a man. That was our first case together, and it felt nothing could bring us down after that. The dark age of the law seemed so distant, so irrelevant to our small, cozy office. But little did I know that it had been lurking all along, right there, behind us. The first time I made it myself known was during the murder at the Themis Legal Academy. That case would mark the twilight before the dark, cold night that was about to come. Woo! That's a nice background. Would you like to sing? Yes, I would. All right. How long are we going? 2 hours. So yes, we can definitely have a great sneak peek of the next episode. Let's go save again. This one's called Turnabout Academy. Would you like to continue? We shall see what happens next time. Let's do it. Episode 3, Turnabout Academy.
Themis Legal Academy. a
Isn't it
prestigious
Themis?
high school with alumni in the highest echelons of the legal world.
And suddenly a red thunderstorm appeared, and people started deleting themselves. Previews are kind of like when the TV ad shows the next time. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm doing it that way. And that is where we will stop. If it will let me. Thank you. Exit game. Oh, wait, no, don't save. Yes, I want to quit. All right, and that's the preview for next time. Some kids maybe have killed someone. Woo! So yeah, that's where we'll stop. We'll pick this up next week, Tuesday. We'll find out what happened in this Themis school is going to do, what these kids were doing, and find out who this person that was stabbed was. So it's going to be fun. Series leads up to that. You know, the previews are kind of like when the next time the top prosecutor and police chief are murders and blackmail people. Next time Beyblade. Next time Dragon Ball Z. Goku acted to Mickey. But yes, we shall pick this up next week. Tomorrow I'll be back with Halo 3, so look forward to that. But that's another case down. Next time we got to do with this new one. So look forward to that. As usual, if you haven't already, like, follow, subscribe, to that bell notification to know when the next stream. If you want to support me directly, there's links to Patreon and tips too. And if you do become a patron, get your name added to the Patreon list here. Or I give you a shout out of every stream, like I do with Hiroru Kuni and the Swordmaster 37. And I thank you for the continued support, and I greatly appreciate you. And I allow you to be attacked by Black Will, so then you get cut in half nearly. But don't worry, he'll miss sometimes. But yeah, it wasn't a scuff stream. This was a good stream. What are you talking about? Yeah, we'll be back next week with this on Tuesday. Tomorrow will be Halo 3, so look forward to that. And yeah, again, thanks for joining. Hope everyone enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye. Bye, Sean. Bye, Afrotron. Bye, everyone else. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you all at the next stream. Have a good one.